What if that had been, a commercial breed bull that I've had before? They would take down all the fences, all the gates, and they'd have been running down the road with brown bale feeder on. So,
hey everyone, this is Mike at Sweetbriar Farm. In this video, we're over at Bean Legacy Homestead doing our bull swap, and we're talking with Carl about Dexters and hopeful benefits of doing the swap, and talking about the different genetic lines of Dexters that we have. Carl has a lot of John Potter Dexter genetics. John was a kind of a internationally renowned Dexter breeder. John was listed as the primary breeder on about 494 registered Dexters. Unfortunately, John passed away in September of 2021. So we've never met him. We do have John Potter lines in our breeding herd. Jolene has a lot of John Potter genetics, and I think our Dr. Quinn as well. When looking at ADCA registry of a cow or bull, if you see the SGF prefix, that is from Spruce Grove Farm, which is John Potter line genetics. So internationally known breeder. But we're with Carl Bean talking. We kind of just jumped right in recording our conversation. So Carl has over 20 years experience working in commercial dairy and beef production, and he recently switched into raising Dexters about 4 years ago. So if you're interested in Dexter Cattle Talk, stick around and enjoy the conversation we have with Carl.
and after I looked at all the rest of these herds, and then all these people were interested in the Potter, and then the more I investigated the John Potter cattle, I'm going, geez, maybe there's something here. And then I started doing research and digging back and going, he put just a ton of work into the genetics. And so I really want to make sure that I just keep that going. But he was more quality cattle, and he played around a lot with the genetics and the colors. So I feel like I'm kind of taking I'm continuing that guy's legacy almost
Right.
a little bit, but now putting something different into it. And then when we was talking about Gandolfini, I'm going, I think this is a perfect time to introduce something a little different. And actually, I'd watched that video of you guys when you was down in Tennessee, right? And I was pretty impressed with that guy's program. And then when Melissa asked me about doing a bull swap, I was thinking this might be a perfect opportunity for both parties, because he's heavy bred to John Potter.
Yep.
And plus, now you got the breeding from Mr. President.
Yeah.
Right?
What I like about his pedigree, Gandolfini's, is Jolene's all Potter line,
Right.
and Mr. President's all Cheney's line. And like you said, like Cheney's, they breed some magnificent cows. I mean, and they're really picky about the bulls they get too. Kathy just sent me a picture of a bull they're going to run along with their Maverick that is replacing the President line, basically.
Yeah.
And looks like he's wild red. He's not tested, but he's just a real pretty red bull. And their other ones are done. But
Yeah. So the color to me will come later, but I'm more interested in, I want to stay on the higher end of the height scale. And also I want to keep these udders. And so this time around, she got a beautiful udder, and for a 3-year-old, she's put together really good, and she's got that kind of that maximum height, I think.
so why do you want to keep at the higher end for the height for a bull?
Well, I think if I can keep the height, I don't want to go above it or whatever, but I want to go right up there and stay there. For one is snow. Number two is if we stay up that higher, and then we can just get more mass on them possibly, but it's not always the case. They still grow good. But for me, I just...
For the beef production part of it?
That and, getting these cows off the ground, especially the ones that have their udders, maybe they're going to have some lower udders. It's better for calf, to keep it up. But there's nothing wrong with the shorter cattle, but it's just my preference.
Right.
Just own it, you know. And so I'm kind of trying to keep that going. So along with the podder, and putting my own thing in it, and looking at the udders, of course, milking cows for 20 plus years, you know, you can get an idea for that. And then then the temperament's a big thing for me too.
Right.
But I do know that these Dexter cattle, they're still cattle no matter what, and but they'll stand and protect their calves probably more so than about any other breed I've ever seen. They're really protective, and so the temperament's kind of there, but I don't want to go too far with that.
Right.
But at the same time, Hans out there, I think he was born in 19. So he went, when he was like 2 to 3 years old, I seen him kind of go through that phase where he wanted to act like a bull of any make. But then he kind of settled in. Once he got past that, and now he's a Dexter. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. He went through that stage where he just
it's like a teenager phase type deal.
Yeah, he was overbearing and kind of pushy, but now he's a piece of cake. But I've seen that with other bulls. So I think it's important to, like what you're doing, is you're halter breaking them and spending the time with them. I think it means a lot.
Yeah.
There's sure we're not the only ones breeding Dexters, but I think that it's important to know don't become commercialized with it. Make it so it's good for all the homesteaders and in the small acreage people. People are just trying to make a living on, you know, a small farm. I think it's a perfect fit.
Yeah, we had talked before about, you know, when we bought Mr. President, we bought him proven, halter broke, worked with, but now I'm almost backtracking. Like, I liked working with this calf and building a relationship with this calf, where I mean, I can work with Mr. President, and I can go and put a halter on him most of the time, but then there's times where, well, it always seems like if there's more than one person too. If it's just me, it's not a big deal. But if Kelsey or the kids are outside, he's more attentive, and then he's more likely to walk away from me. Not run away, but just keep his distance.
So I think it's kind of interesting you said that, because they do know people, and they know when there's somebody different. Chris Bannon was over last night, and I was doing chores. I said, "Hey, I'll catch Leo, and maybe you can put a little time on him for me tonight." And so he catches easy. But Chris had to back out so I could catch him, because it wasn't me.
Yeah.
So he knows the difference, you know.
And that is the hardest part, is catching these suckers too.
Yeah. Well.
Because once I have him on the leash, then yeah, he'll go anywhere with me. But
yeah, I won't have any problem catching him. But I do it with a little bit of grain, you know.
Yeah.
I grain them just a little bit, and just so they depend on me. In fact, all the cattle get just a little bit, and it's also they depend on me, and it gives me the chance to line everybody up, walk around everybody, and so they just get used to it. They're very interesting breed of all the breeds I've ever had. You know, and I bought these guys, and then afterwards I started looking at who else has these, you know, and I came across Pete out there in New York, and so I started watching his YouTube channel, and that's pretty cool, but I had already started, and so it was pretty interesting to watch how he did things, you know.
Right.
And one of these days I'll get out there and have a good conversation with him, but he's got a lot of good points, and I think he's doing a lot for the small farmer and for the breed. So I think as long as people are going on there and producing these videos and writing articles and doing these things, I think this breed will continue to expand and get more quality animals. And there's a lot of animals out there that are very good quality animals that nobody even knows about.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I picked one up from a guy in Howell, or Emma, he AI's his, and he's got she's out of like Freedom Farms,
Yeah.
But he had some really nice looking cows that he was underselling, and part of it he was an older guy and didn't know.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of value in marketing them a little bit better.
Yeah, you got to have a way out with them, because if somebody starts out with 3 or 4, within a few years your herd's just exponentially growing, and then if they don't have a good market for the beef or the breeding, or if they don't get 4-H kids involved or anything like that, and then pretty soon their herd just gets too big, and then they don't know what to do, and then them cattle end up in the auction sales.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a sad story, but out of all the cattle I've ever raised, hundreds and hundreds of Holsteins over the years, and some commercial breeds of beef, I've enjoyed these guys the most. I mean, really. And I started messing with cattle when I was a kid.
Yeah, we have two steers going in Monday, and then we've got 3 for next fall, and they're sold.
Yeah.
I don't have any steers for 26 beef.
Yeah, so I kind of went through that when I first got into it. I bought the guys heifers and steers to start with, and then he wanted to get rid of some of his cows because winter was coming, and he had too many customers, and so he wanted to go to the bigger beef breed. And so then that's how I ended up with them older cows. And so I had no problem at all selling those steers. I mean, from people that worked with me to just anybody else. So the steers went pretty quick. But I like to get them so I'm pretty steady around that 400 plus hanging weight.
Yeah.
I think, just...
That's where we've averaged.
Yeah.
These next 2, they should be right around there.
Yeah.
I haven't really looked at them.
But I think I butchered the last ones a little too early because I was really young to it. And so these guys I'm going to keep for 2 years, and I'm pretty sure we'll be somewhere between 400 and 500.
Yeah. Well, the first one we did, he was over 2 years old. He was 2.5, I think, but he hung at 500 pounds.
Yeah. So, and I think it's they got their growing spurts. So these guys grow really fast up to this age. But then they'll slow down, and I don't know what happens there, but they'll slow down for a little while. Next spring, when these guys all go back on pasture, they'll just go.
Yeah.
They'll take right off, and they'll go to that 900 pounds,
Yeah, just working with him,
Yeah.
He was this big.
Yeah.
It seemed like a month ago, and now he's waist high.
So Frank Welling from Ithaca, I think he's Ithaca, Alma area, yeah. So he's getting the other red one.
Okay.
And so I'm going to hold a breaking for him now that you got me started with this thing. We're going to hold a breaking for him, but Frank's older, and he is so interested in these Dexters, and it's nothing new to him because he's done it before, that now he's just going to have this pen of bulls. So people can come there, small farmers that don't have to have a bull if they've got 3 or 4 cows.
Mm-hmm.
And they can breed to a quality bull. So he came here and picked out after you guys did. And so he'll go there. But it's things like that that'll help grow this Dexter world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe.
I agree. I think that's one of the reasons we like to talk about them so much on YouTube is I feel like they're kind of a hidden treasure that like most of the traditional farmers who raise the big commercial breeds, they're clueless about. And if anything, they think they're, some novelty.
They think they're a novelty, something for a petting zoo or whatever, but no, they're not. They're very, very intelligent animal. You can't discredit them for anything, really. I have not had to pull one calf. I haven't had to vet out one time, look at any of them. I haven't had any feet problems. If there's been any mistakes, it's because it's all on me. If you give them everything they need, and I just, you can take one in the barn, you can go out there and get one of them fresh cows. That cow over there, I'm pretty sure in 2 days' time, Chris and I could be teaching her and milking her by hand. So if somebody calls they want a milk cow, in a week's time they can lead her on the trailer, and I believe in that. Where a lot of other breeds, they're pretty level-headed. They're not going to overreact. And Chris, he said it best one day. He said, their bull got caught up inside the round bale feeder up against the barn, and he thinks he was there for quite a while. And he said he got home and he was just standing there inside his round bale feeder going, they'll get here eventually. And so he went out there and got him out of the round bale feeder. What, if that had been, you know, a commercial breed bull that I've had before, they would take down all the fences, all the gates, and they'd have been running down the road with round bale feeder on. So, but at the same time, they do look out for one another. And the other thing is they mother each other. And, you know, any given time you got a cow out there that's producing really good. Pretty soon you got 3 calves over there going, are you kidding me? You know, but they just accept it. And I never seen it quite like that before. So they look out after each other. You can tell how they evolved from being on the mountains, up Ireland or Scotland or whatever. That's how they survived it. So it's been pretty fun. It's been a pretty cool venture. And it's neat that you get other people that are even in the state or whatever, you know, that are all have that same interest. I believe that in the future, I think it'd be neat if Michigan would start a Dexter association of the states, so you kind of all come together, kind of like Ohio. They're really going down there with that. And then once you do that, and then you start creating these younger farmers coming into it. And I just really think that in times to come, people could use them for small acreage, self-reliance, or whatever they want to do with them. So, yeah, that's kind of my take on it, guys.
How long again have you had the Dexters?
I think this is going to be going into the 4th year. Going into the 4th year. Coming out of the 3rd year, I think.
Yeah, we're headed out.
Pretty young.
We're headed out of 4 and going into 5.
Yeah, you guys got a couple years
but
on me.
But you have more head than we do.
Well, the thing of it is, though, you know, I kept all the acreage when we got done dairy farming, and for recreational purposes, and I've always said I'll probably never get out of it. I still like to go on vacations and go do things, and the shop life's okay. But I never wanted to let the acreage go or the old equipment just because, you know, I could.
Right.
But I could handle quite a few cows, but I don't want to get too big. I think if you get too many cattle, and then I don't want it to become a job that I dread doing.
It's kind of like beekeeping. I went from 2 hives the first year to 10 the next year to 35 the following year. Yeah. And that's the worst job in the farm is the bees.
Yeah. Well, I started out operating by myself and building the farm back in '88, I think. The best years of my farming life, except for now with these Dexters, were when I was milking 30 cows, picking all my corn and putting it in a crib, dry baling hay, and you can do this on your own with just your family or whatever. Them were the best years. We grew to 100 cows, rented and bought more ground with 600 acres, and then it become this beast.
Yeah.
You know, and so it'd be easy to do, and I don't, you know, I want to be able to enjoy it and try to do what's best for the Dexters. So, but if you could take a cow that's 17 years old and she's in, you know, she's at the top of the scale as far as being in condition, she's gonna have her 15th calf, and she'll breed right back, and that's almost unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy, and her udder's still good udder on her.
And then, I was just reading somebody's post on Facebook the other day. You know, a lot of these cows don't make it past their 5th or 6th birthday because most small farmers get out of it after year 5.
Yeah.
So they're going to the auction house or slaughterhouse.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that we need to make sure we look out for. And that's one good thing about you guys and Pete and some of these other guys that are having these channels out there. And it's showing that you can do it. You can raise a family, you can enjoy it, and do something with it.
I was kind of thinking about that on the way down when we were talking, because both Kelsey and I are teachers. So, to be successful, you can't be afraid to fail.
Nope.
And you need to be a little bit overconfident at sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's the main thing is, we show our failures on our channel.
Yeah.
And we show our successes as well.
No, you have
and
to.
This year was pretty bad at the start of it, but
well, just knowing that you're not out there by yourself, everybody's a phone call away, or somebody else has got a trailer if you need it, or just lots of different things. Chris and I are fortunate. We kind of grew up together, and we both played around with farming, and so we kind of got each other, and we're pretty close, same age. That we're constantly bouncing things off us back and forth, but our kids are all grown up and they're off doing their own thing, So, but you guys got a young family, and you're doing it right, and I think you're setting up a good breeding program. You're going out and getting good stuff. So
I don't have to buy any more cows, so heifers or anything.
You keep saying that.
Well, it's hard. You see a nice looking cow, and it's hard. But
I saw him looking at a cow yesterday.
That was Kathy's new bull.
No, there was another one the day before too.
Well, that was the whole point, and that's when I was talking with Kathy about getting a second bull. Is I want to be able to, improve what I have, and, sell heifers that or cows that aren't to my standards, and but be able to keep the best.
I think something else that Mealy and I have noticed, at least in the goat kidding barn, is like it's only like breeding is the most fun when you think you can keep them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's we want to be able to keep our favorite heifers and raise them up and train them.
I picked up a cow calf pair from Leipert's over in Dexter. I don't know if you know them, but
I've heard the name.
But I was talking with Vaughn, and I said, "Well, why are you getting rid of them?" He says, "I can't keep them all." He said he would, but he can't. He doesn't. He doesn't have his.
That's why I say it'd be really easy to outgrow, and take the fun out of it. But I'm fortunate, to have enough ground where, I just keep making hay fields and just keep taking them out, But at some point in time, you still got all that food all day and all the manure, but being small's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really good. I still ground out, but pasturing cattle. So I rent a lot of the farm out to a guy, and he actually bought some of my commercial beef breed 7 years ago or whatever. And the reason why he did is he thought that I had this special breed or feeding program or something. But I kept telling him, it's all in that pasture. They can do so well if you can produce enough pasture for them to let them do it naturally. And so our calves they always looked great, So he bought them and took them home, but he had too many cattle and he just couldn't have any pasture. And they just didn't perform the same. And I'm like, it's all in that pasture. That's what they're built for, that they're ruminants. We slow our growth down in the wintertime because we're feeding hay.
I've actually been surprised with the Dexters. We hay them most of the time, and they're fat.
They're still doing good.
I mean, they got the fat deposits right next to the tail.
So you're getting good hay.
We're getting good quality
You're getting good hay. Yeah, that's all. You got to have good forage, and they'll do the rest for you. So, and minerals, it's very important there. I feed a lot of minerals. So it's pretty interesting to see how they grow and mature. It's going to be fun watching the feeding come along, and I'll keep him up here close through the winter.
I'd love to see pictures of it. Every year as he grows up. That would be neat.
So
he's going to be in the breeding program as long as he turns out what I think he's going to be.
Right.
We've got heifers. I think we got I think we got 4 heifers coming next summer that he'll breed to. So he'll have his own thing going, and so it's gonna be pretty interesting to watch that grow.
Yeah, and when I saw Melissa post those bull calves for sale, I was like, I'm kind of a year away from needing another bull.
Yeah.
And would you do a trade? And
yeah.
So I think this is a win-win.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, you've always got the option if there's something about them that you don't like, you got options.
Right.
You know, you can do something else. But as far as I can tell, with his dam in the sire, there's no reason why he shouldn't turn out really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, great udders on them, animals, and so. But that one I got out there that's pretty close to the, you know, I keep saying the platinum, and we all know he's been gone for a long time, but you don't have to look very far back there, and they kept that pretty close. That was not a Potter breeding for a little while. That Levi bull, I'm going to keep a close eye on him, you know, and of course I can't use him on these heifers, but to get a prospect for somebody else, I want to keep him so where I know where he goes, just so I can see how he does. But his growth rate's just been unbelievable. He's probably the size of some of these guys that are 5 months old, you know. I think he's got 2 months of growth on these guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's just been crazy, but just another cross.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Talk cattle all day.
Yeah. So
we'll get them in the pen and kind of compare the.
Yeah.
calves.
So I'll get Leo over there. We'll put him in this front pen, and then we'll put them in there together if you want. I'll get him on a lead first, and then we'll just kind of do it that way. Yeah.
I noticed it looks like Leo's kind of squinting his right eye.
Yeah, it happened last night or this morning.
Okay.
I think it's from coming through here.
Oh.
Yeah. I just told my mom I was over visiting her. I got him working on her house. I'm like, I feel so bad. She's like, why? I said, well, Leo's got a watery eye. She's like, really? I'm like, the first thing they're going to go, hey, you getting pink eye? But no, there's none. I would not fear it. I think it was either when Chris was leading him around and he got the halter probably, because Chris was in there for a while leading him.
Yeah.
Or sticking their head through here into stubble hay.
All right, well, thanks for watching, everybody. We've got Leo back here. It's been, a week or two since we brought him home. He's settling in nice. He's doing quite well. So in one of the upcoming videos, we'll continue our conversation with Carl. Well, thanks for watching. We will see you